Hello, Cancer. It's your turn for your reading for the month of July. It is your month finally, your birthday month. So wish all these fellow Cancers a happy birthday. Mine is coming up on Monday, the 29th. I was gonna do it a little bit different this time. I already put the cards on the side over here because it's like my phone needs to charge. So, um, this is the overall energy. We have a lot going on for you guys, especially in the Cosmo. I don't want to be too long and drawn out on that, explaining everything going on. But I'm sure if you are educated, we have a lot of the eclipse energy going on. I have to put my phone down just a minute. Anyways, we have all the eclipse energy going on, which we pretty much had in our sign. Mercury and all this stuff. So there's a lot going on with us. For some of you, you may be in a really dark time right now. I know recently I just dyed my hair at the salon and I had a horrible experience, and it's really getting on my insecurity right now. But I feel like the best thing to do at this point, Cancer, in our lives is, you know, we're in a very weird time for us, and I feel like it's just doing the best we can with whatever comes our way. Alright, so I'm going to get into your reading, then bring the other cards over here and read them, and kind of read it a little bit different than I normally do. I was trying to think something. Anyways, the card. I was looking at the other cards because the other cards are right there. I feel like these are a lot of similar energies. We have the overall energy, like I was going to say, but then I stopped. And I really got the feeling of metamorphosis. A lot of us are changing up things than we normally do, whether it's going to the salon, whether it's changing some form of our life. So I feel like we're coming out of hiding in our true essence. This card was in reverse, so I feel like coming in July, there's just something to say about coming out on something, coming out with our truth, shining, being more authentically real, especially being more in tune with our inner self and our inner world. That could be something in regards to Leo energy. It's really weird because last night I had this weird dream about a Leo. He's a Leo King astrology guy who gives a lot of information on astrology. But it was weird because I was like filming him, and then we were talking and he kissed me. It was really weird. And then I was like, I gotta tell my fiance what happened. It's just really weird energy. So maybe you're dealing with a Leo. Maybe something has to do with a Leo. I don't know. But these are very similar energies I'm feeling of June because the cards are similar. I remember some of these cards showed up in your reading. So there's something to say when it comes to you're mourning the loss of someone or something, and I feel like it has to do with your insecurity. It has to do feeling like you're at your best peak in life and you want balance. I feel like when it comes to these energies, especially in July, I feel like it's gathering your thoughts. You're ready to move forward on something, but you've been putting in a lot of time and effort into something. I feel like you're uncertain about something, the past or the future, or just something's not right here. You're struggling with this morning loss. Some of you could have had some suicidal thoughts recently. For some of you could be dealing with exes. You could be dealing with a lot of past traumas here because recently, you could have been dealing with some type of inner trauma that happened when you were a child. And I feel like in the month of July, you're coming out of that. You're shining more brightly. You're walking Maybe you felt like for a while you've been walking on eggshells about something, or you felt like that in the past. So I do feel like you've been feeling a lot of familiar past energies come at you, and like in between world. And I feel like there's a lot of karmic things you're clearing out, Cancer, especially with past people. Like you had this card last month, but I feel like it's more about gathering your thoughts. Like you're taking a lot of time out to gather your thoughts to move forward, but I feel like there's a lot of blockages maybe you're not aware of. There's a lot of things that need to come forward. There's a lot of things that need to take place. And I feel like you're at a morphing stage. I've got that feeling for about a year and a half about cancers and about me in general, is you're in the metamorphosis time in your life where, I think it's not so much worried about with what you're looking like. And I feel like a lot of you are really consumed possibly with how you're presenting yourself, how you look to the world. And I don't think it's a problem. I just feel like you need to tone it down a little bit, because even for me, like, I've been so obsessed with this idea of edgy, being more edgy. But I think when we get too much caught up in the way we look, we start to lose ourselves a little bit and understand that it doesn't matter what I wear, what I dress, is are you authentically yourself? And it's getting back to that higher realm of love, that it doesn't really matter at the end of the day if you have an edgy look or not. And it's really hard for me, and I don't know if it's for you guys, but like when it comes to the outer world, it really has effect on us. But I feel like it's getting out of our head. It's indoctrinating kind of this metallic brainwash thought of brainwashing ourselves to think that we are good enough. There's a lot of things throwing at us, and it seems like it's showing us where we're not good. And I feel like it feels like an attack of some kind on our insecurities, on things that we see that we don't have, and therefore we want to judge, or we want to ridicule, or we want to feel like there's an indifference. Like for me, my biggest thing right now is I have to limit my time on social media. And it's not so much social media, it's so much on TikTok. Because I feel like if we get too much caught up in what everything is going on around us, even as cancers, we need to come back to ourselves. We need to acknowledge that, you know, the more we look at what others have, and the more we focus in and zero on the things that we're lacking, the more we're going to feel like crap. And I feel like this month of July, it's kind of similar energies I'm feeling with the cards and stuff, but, I feel like it's about moving forward, taking the little initiative steps to move forward in a better direction, and not worrying so much on the outside effects. And like I feel like a lot of us are at this stage in our life, we kind of see how dull and boring maybe our style has been, maybe our attitude, maybe there's just something about us that needs to change, and we haven't got there the way that we want to feel. I feel like that's a lot of Cancer energy, where it's like, with this butterfly, this is how we are right now. Like, we feel completely hopeless right now, where it's like we want to transform, we want to grow, but I feel like on our part it's going to take a lot of work to actually feel authentically what we want to feel, whether it's changing up our style, our diet. There's so much when it comes to a lot of different things. I'm going to put that down for a minute, don't mind me. I need to set the other cards up for relationship and what's going on in home life. But yeah, there's a lot of things going on for us, and I feel like it's a good thing. It just feels like a lot of work for us to really get where we want to do, and a lot of it has been our career. Like, we're not completely happy where we are in life, whether it's our home life, whether it's our work, whether it's our relationship, whether it's us in general. Like, we don't feel happy. And I feel like it's not about expectations at this point. I feel like we're over that. Not expecting people to overgive, just like we're not wanting to overgive. But it's recognizing how powerful we really are. And, maybe it's about somewhat brainwashing ourselves. Like, so much negativity that we have put in our minds about certain things or certain scenarios about people. There is this sense of detachment from people and society and coming into ourselves and realizing that, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, like that song, and I'll probably link it, it doesn't matter. Nothing else matters but what we believe about ourselves. Nobody can tell us otherwise. Nobody can change our mind. I feel like when we get caught up in too much what everybody else thinks, and that's the hard part. Recently I had to learn with my whole haircut experience and my dye, is it's really hard when I'm trying to change something about myself, like if it is a hairstyle, because I want to authentically please my fiance with a hairstyle, because we go through I think it's my Libra moon too, that I'm undecisive, and then it's like I really should have sticked with my first choice. Um, Maybe you feel like that with people in some way. Um, Sorry, I'm going on with that. Um, Alright, so I'm going to do this a little bit different. The first part I'm going to go into is pretty much what's going on in the home fort, and this is the relationship and how can we put everything back together and fix things, or just how everything comes together. So, with the first half being the world tree, which I feel like that's the world card, the pole star, and the three of arrows, jealousy. So I do feel like there's a lot of things you want to change. And like for cancers, we can stick at things till we're blue in the face, but you really want things to change. I do feel like with the jealousy part, it's what you're seeing others have, whether it's their style, whether it's their home life, whether it's they can drive and we can't for some reason. There's a lot of here about home life that you want things to change. You want to get out of this cycle. I do feel like in the fall, possibly, especially seeing all these true things are start turn around in a positive direction in the fall. I do feel like there's a lot of good fortune coming your way. Recently, I found out, I'll be getting money from the IRS, which is crazy, $72, but that's not much. But I won a sweepstake for my honeymoon. There's a lot of changes happening for cancers. Um, we're not in our north node anymore, but I do feel like with this Gemini energy, it's pushing us to change. It's pushing us to adult, to get out of this young mentality and to get where we need to be. And I feel like jealousy it could be a sense of a good thing. You have a lot of potential, Cancer. You have a lot of unseen things that you may not see that are coming towards you in a great positive light. But I feel like you're kind of at this point where you're tired. You're tired of seeing things that others people have and you want so much for your life. But I feel like it's going to take time. Like I said, around fall, things are starting to pick up for you and your partner if you're in a relationship. So it is positive, but look out for the fall, because I do feel like a lot of things are going to change for you in a positive way. So your relationship, you're still dealing with these inner demons, these conflicts, this beast nature within yourself, and I feel like there's a lot of stability within yourself, or you want that stability within yourself in this relationship. But I feel like there's a lot of communication. There's a lot of things going on in this relationship that maybe needs to be put to end. A lot of it could be past influences that you're speaking on. It could be about your home life that you're talking with your partner about, the changes to come. Um, I do feel like with the wolf here, it's about being authentically you, speaking from your authentically self. With the guardian, I do feel like it's insisting that you need to change. You need to change your home environment. You need to speak up about some things within your home that need to change. And I do feel like with this relationship, there's a lot of dead influence that maybe in some way you feel like it's still influencing, like past situations still influencing you, the energies tied with these people. Maybe it's a home dynamic that you're tied with. So get out of it if you can. But I feel like it's being more authentic. It's speaking and communicating and letting things go. Letting this end cycle. And I feel like a lot of it has to do when it comes to your relationship. You want to get out of it. You don't want to stay stuck and stranded for the rest of your life somewhere, because cancers get to this point where, we're the crab. We can stay as long as we have to, but I feel like we're at this point we just want to get out. Not in the relationship, but we want something new. We want something more authentically what we were designed to be. And it's like we can't really be a happy crab if we're living in a crappy situation. You know what I mean? Maybe some of you recently moved. That's what I'm getting to. And how everything's going to come together is stepping into your power and using the laws and physics of the universe, kind of like the Aquarius energy. Could be dealing with Aquarius. I do feel like it's a lot of work. Maybe it's about putting out old flames. Stop putting out things that aren't working. Maybe it's about when you're dealing with people, not going back to old situations, but putting out these flames and taking these old situations to empower yourself. I think that's what it's talking about. In order to make things come together where they need to be, it's about finding the balance that best works for you and taking on this fire energy to empower yourself. And there is something to say about fire energy. It could be in Leo season, and it's about getting empowered. It's about getting in tune. Maybe it's a power up. Maybe it's alignment. Like, maybe in some way you don't feel aligned to something that is in your environment. Like I said, there's just something out of whack here when it comes to these relationships. I feel like for cancers, like, things could be so much better. I just feel like in some way we're playing the role that, not lying, but feeling like, there's nothing we can really do at the moment. Maybe we don't feel like we're having the best of times. Because it's like we want to take action, but it's like really hard to take action when we feel like we don't have certain things or the certain structure of things. Maybe we feel like we're waiting on our partner to make the first move, but I feel like it's about taking action. If there's something we need to do or change, it's going to take a lot of work to get there. I feel like it's a lot of work anyways to transform your life, but I think it's also to getting out of expectations of people. And it's hard for cancers. It really is, when we expect other people. Like, honestly, we want people to treat us the way we're treated. If we're going to fully give everything, we want you to fully give to us. We don't want half-ass. We don't want to feel like we're overgiving. We don't want the other person to feel like they're overgiving, but we want to co-create together. We want to make something happen, and in a peaceful manner be willing to, put away our differences and really come together. So I do feel like, maybe there's some things you need to remodel. Maybe there's something within your home dynamic that needs to be fixed. Because, for some of you Cancer, you've lived in a place for years. And we're getting tired, we're getting drained, we're getting depleted, because I feel like there's really not an option we can do in our situation to change it, because I feel like with this whole lockdown thing and coronavirus, it's really prevent us to move forward, but I feel like there are ways to move forward. It's just, I don't know. We need to be patient and get out of the way. I feel like that's the problem too, is getting out of our own way, not being a control freak, and realize that everything in our life, whatever it's good or bad, letting go of the idea that things have to look a certain way when they don't. And realistically, things aren't going to go the way that we want to, even though we want things to move faster, but it only works at a certain pace, and it's about putting work and effort. Just, I don't know. I've gotten to that point too. It's like, I want to move. I want to start a life, a family, and everything. And it's like, it just feels like it's a lot of work we're having to put in. But I feel like we're not alone at this. It just feels like there's a lot of work to be done to even get where we need to get. It's insane. It's like, for me, it's like I'm almost 30. Monday I'll be 30, and it's like, it feels like I don't have my shit together when I should. But anyways, I feel like things eventually will start moving forward, maybe in August. Yeah, maybe in August, who knows. But maybe in the fall things will start picking up where they need to go. But like I said, nothing's going to be perfect, and I think it's getting out of the expectation that everything has to go perfect. I think that's a Cancer's habit, to feel like that everything has to look a certain way when it really doesn't. It's just about doing the best we can with it, because if you're stuck somewhere in limbo and you have nowhere to go, then the best you can do is evolve and grow and do the best you can. No one's perfect at this. I just feel like we have a timetable. I feel like, it's kind of past overdue, and it's like, it's getting harder and harder to deal with things, I feel like, because we've lived at a place for so long. Me personally, it's like, it becomes a lot. It becomes a lot when you have to deal with the same thing every day. Maybe you don't have AC, or there's just something that's just not working out. Anyways, it's a lot. It's a lot to work on. Anyways, I hope you guys have a great July and a great birthday if your birthday's in later in July. I know mine's Monday, so happy birthday, everyone. All these Cancers. Have a good month. Bye.